in at number 10, we have touch your nose with your tongue. It's a classic, it really is, but the majority of us simply can't do it. Let me give it a go. No, not even close. Like, the only way I can do it is if I yeah. Wow, that was attractive. Good! Those who do have the ability to touch their nose with their tongue make up 10% of the general population, and the act even has its own medical term. It's called the Gorlin sign. Now, attempting to do the Gorlin sign has left me with a bit of a wet nose, so I'm just gonna fix myself up there. Coming in at number 9, we have tickle yourself. Now, I'm pretty ticklish. I don't like being tickled really at all. My neck and my legs are the most ticklish. I feel like I need to get someone to tickle me to demonstrate. Here's Charlotte from Inform Overload who's gonna tickle me. Charlotte's a good friend. Okay, but then when I try and tickle myself, oh, it's all good. I can touch my own neck, no problems. Well, why exactly is this? A study at University College London showed that the cerebrum in the brain is able to preempt sensations when your own movement causes them, but it does not preempt sensation when someone else moves to touch you. So basically, when you try and tickle yourself, the cerebrum predicts the sensation, and this prediction is used to cancel the response of the tickle. The response of the tickle. Good! Technical. Coming in at number 8, we have waggle your ears. Can you waggle your ears? No, I can't. This is me trying to waggle my ears. It's just not happening, is it? Like, I can't waggle my ears. So apparently ear waggling is a learned skill, and you can achieve this ultimate life goal by gaining a much better control of your facial muscles. Although most people won't bother to do this because why would you? Coming in at number 7, we have lift your ring finger. So most people can't lift their ring finger when they place their hand on a flat surface with their middle finger bent. Let me see if I can try and show you how I absolutely can't do it. Okay, so, no, I cannot lift it. It's not a thing. Can you do it? Let me know. Coming in at number 6, we have sneeze with your eyes open. So I'm a big sneezer. I sneeze a lot, but I have never sneezed with my eyes open. I can fake sneeze with my eyes open, like, choo, achoo. But a real sneeze, it's different. Real sneezes involve real reflexes. The nose and eyes are linked by cranial nerves, which means that the network of nerves is triggered by a sneeze, causing you to blink. While this is the case for the vast majority of people, there are a few people out there who are able to sneeze with their eyes open. More with the eyes up next. Coming into number 5, we have sleeping with your eyes open. Despite Metallica demanding that we sleep with one eye open, it's actually pretty darn difficult to do. There are several reasons we sleep with our eyes closed, and this is because 1, it blocks out external stimuli that might be distracting like sunlight, and 2, because it protects our eyes from getting dry and gives them a good rest. The vast majority of us could not fall asleep with our eyes open if we tried. It's just more comfortable to close those peepers. That being said, there is a rare sleep condition called nocturnal lethargohypothalamus, which I totally butchered, but it's real. This means that some people are unable to close their eyes when they sleep, which can cause a lot of problems. Coming into number 4, we have put your own fist in your mouth. I just can't. This video should also be called Top 10 Moments Rebecca totally embarrasses herself in front of all of you. So no matter how hard I try, my fist does not fit in my mouth. Although huge shout out to my crazy friend Lizzie, who is in the minority of humans who can indeed manage it. She also once fit 57 grapes in her mouth at one time. She's a pro. The reason most people can't do this is simply because their fists are too big for their mouths. But of course there are the lucky exceptions, like Lizzie. Coming in at number 3, we have touch fire without feeling pain. Most of us can't touch something hot or cut our finger on something sharp without feeling pain. Pain is a natural warning sign, and it helps us learn our boundaries as humans. Pain is crucial to survival. However, there is a very rare condition called congenital insensitivity to pain. Those people who suffer are unable to feel physical pain. Obviously, I'm not going to test this one out because I know that I can feel pain and I don't really fancy feeling it right now. Coming in at number 2, we have licking your own elbow. This is another classic. Unless you're double jointed, most humans can't lick their own elbows. Our bodies just aren't designed that way. But like, why would we even need to be able to lick our elbows anyway, unless like we'd accidentally dipped it in something delicious? So I'm gonna try, but I am gonna fail. It's Just awkward all round. Good. Finally, at number 1, you can't hold your breath for longer than 2 minutes. Most people just can't do this, and those that can train for ages to actually be able to. Most humans can't survive for more than 5 minutes without air, but there are some superhuman people who can. The Guinness World Record for holding your breath underwater is held by Ricardo Bahia of Brazil. Now, he managed this feat of superhuman endurance for a whopping 20 minutes and 21 seconds. So
coming in at number 10, we have red hair. Since the South Park Ginger episodes, you may have a couple of solid ginger jokes, but did you know what a beautiful, magical hair color this is? Only 2% of the world has red hair, which is about 140 million people in the entire world. Red hair is a stunning genetic mutation that is a result of the MC1R gene, and in order for it to be produced, both parents have to be carriers, but if they don't have red hair themselves, there's still only a 25% chance of it happening. It can also occur in any ethnicity around the world, though they tend to be more common in places like Ireland, Scotland, and the Netherlands. In fact, if you're Irish, you have a 10% chance of being ginger. The rarest combo is if you have red hair and blue eyes, which my roommate happens to have, so that's kind of cool. She's the best. Coming in at number 9, we have albinism. Albinism is the rare genetic condition that causes the skin, hair, and eyes to have little to no color. The condition prevents the production of pigment and melanin, leaving usually stark white hair, really light skin, red eyes, or really light eyes. Albinism only affects 1 out of 18,000 people and affects all living beings on Earth, actually. Due to the underdevelopment of pigmentation, people with albinism tend to have a sensitivity to light, astigmatism, and are extremely susceptible to sunburn, which means they basically have to bathe in sunscreen. The condition can never be treated because it occurs at a genetic level, with 1 in 70 people being carriers. However, treatments to do with eyesight and light sensitivity can be helped through a variety of approaches. Coming in at number 8, we have tetrachromacy. First off, what on earth is that? Well, you know how some people are like colorblind and they can see very few colors, like they can basically only see like variants of red and green? This is the complete opposite. The rods and cones inside our eyes create color perception channels, which help us see color and light. Though we typically have about 3 channels, tetrachromacy is the existence of a 4th, which allows for people who have it to be able to see even more color. Everything around them is more vivid. It is more common in women, according to a 2010 study. 12% of women have the condition. While us muggles can see around 1 million colors, tetrachromats can see up to 100 million unique colors. Coming in at number 7, we have the DEC2 gene. Do you ever wish there were more hours in the day that you could get everything done? Do you hate sleeping? Wish you didn't have to? Humans spend about 26 years of their life sleeping. Well, except for people with this genetic mutation. DEC2 gene is a gene that allows you to sleep less and work more. In 2009, a professor at UC San Francisco discovered the gene. Orexin is the hormone responsible for maintaining wakefulness, and DEC2 releases the brakes so more can be produced into the system. If you've ever heard of narcolepsy, a condition where you fall asleep suddenly, yeah, they have too little of this hormone. So it's the exact opposite. Honestly, makes you wonder if they could like bottle this stuff and instead of coffee, we just drink this in the morning and then our day is so much more productive. You know, you don't hit that like 4 o'clock wall. Coming in at number 6.
1 green, 1 blue. It's a mutation. It's a very groovy mutation.
Heterochromia is a condition in which basically each eye is a different color. You can either have it naturally at birth or you can develop it due to disease or brain injury. Every 6 out of 1,000 kids are likely to be born with heterochromia, which amounts to overall like less than 1% of the population. But that doesn't mean you haven't seen someone with it. Fans of Mila Kunis, Kate Bosworth, Demi Moore, and even Benedict Cumberbatch has a mild subtle form called sectoral heterochromia. His eyes contain particles of both blue and green, which means his eyes can change color depending on the lighting. The more you know. After reading this, I don't know if I have it. I might have sectoral heterochromia. I just like want to run to an eye doctor because I've had people be like, your eyes are so green today or so green here, and I've had it happen a couple times. Like, how crazy would it be if like during this job I found out I had heterochromia, like a variant form? Like, what? So I don't know, guys. What do you think? Probably not. Wishful thinking. This next one, at number 5, appears in less than 5% of the population. A preauricular sinus appears as a tiny hole, usually near where the ear connects to the side of the head. And no, it's not an old piercing. It may go unnoticed unless the hole gets infected. It's a sinus tract that isn't supposed to be there, and it doesn't affect hearing at all. but it can develop cysts or other infections, so it is something to look out for. But usually it would just kind of look like a dimple. But that's not all. Some people even believe that this unusual anomaly is actually a descendant of our amphibious selves. That's right. They could be a modern day version of fish gills. According to evolutionary biologist Neil Shubin, the holes could be what's left of our fish gills. Coming in at number 4, we have Stahl's ear. How cool would it be? Like, no, seriously, how cool would it be if fairies, the Fae, actually existed? I mean, like, it would actually be more terrifying, but what a cool legend. How did it come about? Perhaps today we have the answer. No doubt when parents saw their babies born with this condition, the husband must have thought, like, their wife got freaky with the forest folk. This next rare body feature is called Stahl's ear. Stahl's ear is also nicknamed as like Vulcan ear, elf ear, Spock ear, you name it, because of the extra fold in the cartilage that is developed, giving the appearance of pointed ears. If noticed in the first month or two, it can of course be treated by ear molding, which is a non-surgical procedure, or later in life it can be fixed with a surgical procedure, but it doesn't actually occur in a lot of adults because they've already had it fixed. About 6 in 1,000 infants will be born with some kind of outer ear deformity, making Stahl's ear a super rare condition. Coming in at number 3, we have Stone Man syndrome. Imagine slowly turning into stone, or I mean, bone. This next one will remind you of poor little Shireen Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Fortunately for her though, they were able to stop the disease just in time, but it might terrify you to know that a disease like grayscale actually exists. Stone Man syndrome is a rare condition that only affects 1 in 2 million people. It's a condition where ligaments, tendons, muscles all slowly turn into bone, which is nuts. It usually starts from the neck to shoulders, gradually drifts to the lower half of the body. Essentially, it's like a second skeleton is growing over the first one. Eventually, the body can't move as easily, and even worse is any attempt to remove the bone excels the process. Today, there is currently no cure. Coming in at number 2, we have no wisdom teeth. This one I think is pretty cool because it's definitely evidence that evolution is doing its thing, you know? Wisdom teeth used to be a necessary part of our jaw as humans to help us grind down really tough material our ancestors thought would be like good to eat, you know? Oh, look, a tree branch, nom nom nom. But now, if not removed, wisdom teeth can cause a variety of teeth issues and jaw issues. It's like a rite of passage to get your wisdom teeth out, to get put under with laughing gas and then have your parents or sibling like film you saying ridiculous things while you're drugged up. My mom loves to remind me about how I sang Let It Go when my doctor told me my mouth was frozen. That was my thing. Classic. But some people are gonna miss out because they aren't born with any at all. A study showed that around 35% of people don't have wisdom teeth. Princeton University also carried out a study that outlined the correlation between our brain development as humans with the lack of wisdom teeth. Our brains have simply become too big to accommodate a big brain and extra teeth, so one had to go. And last but not least, Renault Golden Blood. Get ready for the rarest blood type on Earth. Only shared by a handful of people on Earth, only 43 people have reported to have it. So, we all know the variants like A, B, and O blood. O positive being the most common, to AB negative being most rare. Depending on the antigens that exist within the blood, positive having more and negative having less, blood can only be used on their twin type, while others are more universal. Renault blood is considered as golden blood because its life-saving capabilities are astounding since anyone can take this blood. It is the most polymorphic and immunogenic blood in the world. It will only be given to patients after careful consideration because there is a possibility that it will never be replaced. What makes it so special is its complete lack of antigens. What are antigens? Antigens cover the red blood cells in our body and let our antibodies know not to attack them. So up until 1961, doctors believed that someone with golden blood would never even make it out of the womb. But thankfully, 43 of them did.
Let's talk about Deepak Pajwa. He was born with 4 arms and 4 legs, and he comes into our list at number 10. Deepak is an Indian boy being called God Boy. This is because his village believes he is a reincarnation of a Hindu god Vishnu. Deepak was born with 8 limbs, and this is due to a parasitic twin that was unborn and was attached to him. So his unborn twin became conjoined at his abdominal area. So his twin is very much alive, and he's growing, and he's feeding off of his body. Soon Deepak's body won't be able to support his twin, and his body's gonna start to shut down. This is when doctors decided to take the chance to go through with the intricate and expensive surgery to remove In 2007, 15 surgeons performed an operation, and guess what? It was a success. Now he's going on to live a very normal life. Okay, the real life vampire comes in at number 9. Well, they're not real vampires, but I'm talking about these brothers right here. So this is 11-year-old George and his brother 13-year-old Simon Cullen. They suffer a very rare vampire-like syndrome that leaves them very sensitive to the sun. They are from Sudbury, Suffolk. They suffer from hypohydrotic ectodermal dysplasia, or HED for very short. With this condition, the boys cannot sweat and must avoid sunlight because this overheats them. Because of this, kids make fun of them. They are bullied all the time. Some people even question if these kids have leukemia. HED is an incredible rare, and only 7,000 people in the world have this condition. When they were born, everything was normal, and the nurse put them under a heating lamp to keep them warm. But after just a few minutes, they were getting blisters all over their body, so that was a bad idea. Now at number 8, we have the kid who doesn't sleep. I'm talking about Liam Derbyshire, a teenage boy who's been defying doctors and the odds his whole life. He has been cheating death daily, and that's because he was diagnosed with hypoventilation, which makes it impossible for him to draw a breath automatically. At night times, his parents have to hook him up to a respirator that breathes for him. His parents also have to keep Liam awake. He isn't even able to take a nap. Doctors said that he doesn't even have a chance to making it on past 6 weeks, but here he is today defying odds. Every day that Liam is alive is a blessing, and is very lucky to be breathing. Okay, so coming in at number 7, we have a very rare case where Manar Meg shocked the world when she was born with 2 heads. She was born in Egypt. The rare condition occurred when the embryo split in the womb, but the second twin didn't fully develop. It's unbelievable, but the second twin is alive and is able to smile and move her mouth a little bit. So the second twin is alive but doesn't have any body or arms or legs. It's literally just a head. So the twins are attached at the head. They were taken to the hospital where doctors performed an intense 13-hour operation to try to separate them. And this happened when they were 10 months old. Separating them means one of them would lose their life. But this is in order to try to save the other one. This is a very difficult decision made by the parents. But it was a successful surgery. But sadly, at the age of 2 years old, she was rushed to the hospital with a fever where she lost her life. And this is because she had way too many infections. In at number 6, we have a genius savant who can memorize everything, and I'm talking about Kim Peek, or more commonly known as the real-life Rain Man. Yes, from the movie. Tom Cruise was the main character in it. Dustin Hoffman played him back in 1988. Kim Peek suffers from savant syndrome, which is a condition in which a person demonstrates profound abilities in which it far out exceeds what is considered to be normal. Kim Peek has brain abnormalities that doesn't allow him to communicate with people, but he's able to memorize everything. Kim Peek is so genius with memorization that he can take a book, read the left page with his left eye, read the right page with his right eye, and his brain puts them in order. NASA has tested out how much information he can store in his brain, and it just seems to be endless. Anything he has read in the past, he can remember. In at number 5, we're talking about Didi Kazwara, who suffers from epidermal dysplasia verruciformis, which is simply known as the tree man syndrome. Didi is an Indonesian fisherman who has been suffering from this rare skin disease. It occurred when he cut his leg when he was aged 10 years old, and it got infected. Small warts sprouted out of the wound, which eventually spread to his feet and hands. The accident happened about 30 years ago. When pictures of him were posted on the internet, he became an internet sensation. He had surgery in the past to get it removed, but it just comes back more aggressively. Alright, moving on to Fish Boy, and he swims in to number. This right here is 8-year-old Fan Jinhong, who was born in eastern China province of Welling. At birth, he was born with a rare genetic condition called ichthyosis, which leaves him with itchy scales all over his body. Both of his parents are carriers of this genetic disease, but they didn't show any symptoms themselves. His whole life he has been in unbearable pain. And he's also suffering from overheating, which causes him to be extremely itchy all the time. But scratching it just makes it worse. So he's in a really hard position to be in. Now we have 26-year-old Lizzie Velasquez, and she suffers from a very rare congenital disease, which means she isn't able to accumulate body fat, and she comes in to number 3. Because of this, she has to eat all the time just to stay alive. Lizzie has very close to 0% body fat and consumes about 5,000 calories a day. Her condition has also left her blind in one eye, and her right eye is very limited. This is so rare that only 2 other people are known to have it in history. The condition is similar to many conditions, especially progeria. However, her condition is not terminal, but every day is an achievement that she is still alive. University of Texas Southwest Western Medical Center have medical researchers who are very interested in learning about her super rare condition. Okay, so Bojana Danilovic comes in at number 2. She is a 30-year-old woman who sees everything upside down. She is from Serbia and she suffers a rare brain condition called spatial orientation phenomenon. So for a regular person, we see things and our brain flips them to make them the right way. But for her brain doesn't flip it and everything remains upside down. Her parents said when she first started to crawl, she would crawl backwards. And when she started to walk, again, she'd be walking backwards. All her life growing up, no one can figure out what was going on with her. American scientists have been researching her condition, and so far they haven't come up with any explanation to what is going on. And of course, this is because it's very unique. Next, coming in at number 1, we have Adam Rayner, who is the only person in recorded history to be a dwarf and suffer from giantism. He is believed to suffer from acromegaly. And at the age of 18 years old, way back in 1917, he measured 4 feet tall and he was done growing. His height is a characteristic of dwarfism. Growing up, Adam developed a pituitary tumor where he had a dramatic growth spurt. So in 1931, he grew to 7 foot 2 inches, which has classified him as a giant. This caused him to be bedridden for the rest of his life, and the growing didn't stop. And his health started to decline rapidly. He passed away in 1950 at the age of 51 years old, and he died measuring 7 feet 8 inches tall.